Welcome to another episode of the Philosophy of Chillin. I'm done let the connect, and you see, I'm joined with another group of individuals, and we about to sit here, and chat it up about a topic at hand. But before we do that, let me first let them introduce themselves.
Oh, I got that. My name is Ari. Um, my name is Ari.
It's Naya, but I also go by Naya Divine.
Mis- Miss Damn, Mr. K. You already know. We in here. The philosophy of chilling.
For sure, though. So first of all, we got here because me and Mr. K connected, and we was sitting chopping up. He was like, "Man, I gotta introduce you to these individuals. Like, they dope. I really feel like you'll vibe with them and all that." I'm like, "Okay, for sure." So I appreciate y'all for letting me know about this connection and stuff like that. So I'm about to ask some genuine questions that I've been holding on to, so that not just the people, but I can also get to know you. You feel me?
For sure.
So with that being said, what do y'all do? Like, what is your passion? What is your drive? And I know that Mr. K is over here trying to not just build himself up, but build up 9L as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that combination looking like for you?
So I would say my role is myself first before anything. I would say that I'm, you know, a very intelligent, I would like to say self-driven because I do get my motivation from my village and my other people around me. My brother, Mr. K, is my biological brother, so I get my inspiration and motivation from family and friends. But for myself, I am still searching soul, I would say. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I do know that I want to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
From time to time, I do make music with my girlfriend, Nia Divine, and Mr. K, my brother. Um, just from time to time, just like joking around. But I, I, I'm starting to say that I think I would take it seriously. I would take it seriously. And I'm looking into going back to school and just searching for life. A growing adult trying to figure my way out in life.
And
Nothing
that's
much.
real.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. I like that.
Yeah, I like that answer. I'm not
Thank
gonna lie.
you.
Really everything that she said, but I'm an artist too. I do make music. At first, it was like just doing it for fun type, but now I don't know. I might just take it serious. Everybody around me say take it serious, so I might just take it serious.
She's really good. Even my brother too.
For sure. Oh, you gotta let the people know what that means too.
Like
What?
music, like this.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Wait, hold on. This means. I mean, I got it from everybody else, but clock it. But I do a lot. Like clock that, clock the success, clock the good things in life, the positive things, clock all of that. Let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, like what drives me is like the people around me. Like that's like the simple answer. But really just like the things in the future that I see, like where I want to be basically. But that's my answer. Um,
Nice.
you know.
Um. So I guess I can now go into introducing the question or the theme. Really, a theme for this episode that I had, because I really want to dive into the different levels and depths of it and see how it ties not just into your artistry, but how you're currently trying to develop yourselves within your journeys as well. So I guess the theme that I wanted to go over today was the the concept around misconceptions, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like, to make a decision to take a craft seriously is, even in regards of putting your time into it outside of your regular job or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that triggers a series of events that lead to sometimes the unimagined, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
or like just new experiences in general. And because of the intentionality of what you're doing, that goes into those passion projects and things that you're trying to build as well, like 9L. So, going into misconceptions, what in regards to the decision to take your craft as a potential career path, what does that kind of,
Look like.
yeah, like on the surface level, okay, here's one way it's depicted.
Mm-hmm.
But on the real level, these are the decisions that you're evaluating, the time and effort, the energy that you're putting in.
Mm-hmm.
What would be some misconceptions into the reasons why you would or would not go into that decision of taking this on to a professional and scalable level?
So I would say looking from an outsider's perspective, it could be a thing of the misconception could be of, oh well, they aren't in school, you know what I'm saying? They're just working, you know what I'm saying? Just putting time aside to just do music. It's not everybody's craft, you know what I'm saying? I'm not exactly saying it's mine either, but I would say that being the person, being one of the people on the very platform, because I'm not the only one, is the CEO. So I would say me in my role on 9L and helping its success would be just brainstorming ideas, like little things we could do. Like sometimes we'll talk about from here and there. It doesn't have to just be a music label or a music platform. It could also be like just talent. Like sometimes I do hair retwists and stuff like that, braid hair. One of our very close friends from childhood, my brother's friend, AJ, he cuts hair. So, that could be something else that we could do. Just little things like that. Like not exactly focusing on music part about it, but just building as a community. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Any opinions?
Um, I don't know. Really, yeah. Like we just got out of school, so like just working. Um, sometimes I draw, I write. Sometimes, even if that's like writing about my feelings or like writing music. Like I take a big role in writing. So yeah, that's it.
Um, I really like I like how you asked that question because like as you were speaking, I literally like just thought about okay, for example, like let me ask you a question. So like what would you consider cuz I remember we was having a conversation like what would you consider like your craft?
That's a great question. Showing up, I guess.
Mm, showing up.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the root of how I've gotten into everything. Like, it was just a notion of, okay, regardless of if everything went wrong, if I'm late, what have you, don't matter. Like, if I had the notion to show up somewhere, I'm gonna do so. And then once I get there, like, it just unfolds, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
True.
You never know what happens if you don't show up. So.
Yeah, that's real.
Opportunities you can
Well,
get.
I'm gonna
Um,
use that as an example then. Okay, like me. Okay, your craft is showing up. My craft is music. Like when you was speaking, I was basically thinking like, okay, about the times like, cause like you said, like whatever your craft is, like you work on that shit. You might work on it when you working outside of when you like. It's something that you constantly you on top of it, but like it basically like it resonated with me because like okay I started off doing music and like it's like now it's branching off into other stuff You know what I'm saying? Like you showing up, you meeting, you networking, meeting all like eventually you gonna meet somebody that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna put like
Mm,
not necessarily put you on, but they gonna help you get to a position to where like you feel me? Like you
mm,
already know.
yeah.
But yeah.
So I guess going deeper into that, like what some experiences, whether you've actually went through them or you've just understood them for what they were, where it's like, okay, there's a misconception when it comes to meeting these people and networking with these people. Like, have you experienced like an opposition of what you thought something would be like going into anything?
So are you asking like basically I could have been in a situation where I was coming to network and thinking that the other person had networking intentions, but it was something totally different? Like,
That's a real situation though.
yeah,
Like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
real shit, yeah.
You become thinking we coming in, oh, we locking in for 4 minutes or 4 hours, but it really turns into a 10 hour of so and so delays and nothing is really getting done or achieved. And it's like, okay, well, this is something that I had to go through, and now I'm here with the results of it. Obstacle because it's not what I really needed, but I'm here with it. So now I gotta work through it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Right,
more of like a lesson type thing. Like, oh, sorry. Yeah, I would say in that like that's more like a lesson learning experience. Like I have been through some situations like that. Not gonna lie. Like actually for an example, I will use an example. Like when I switched jobs recently, took like a little pay cut, which was okay, but I thought I was coming into a better pay coming, you know what I'm saying? Because I took full time, but it ended up not being what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's more like a lesson learning experience. Like from here on out, I'll just have my boundaries set, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And like, I don't know, think higher of myself. I would say, like, mm,
That's real.
yeah, like, yeah.
Well, I was actually gonna add on to that
Oh,
because the think higher of yourself, even when you're processing the end results of something of what you thought it would be,
mm-hmm.
to recognize that you had to build up some another aspect of yourself to get to that level that you wanted to be
Yeah.
in general.
Mm-hmm.
How is that like mentally just trying to going through it and then making the decision to protect it too?
How is it now? Okay. Ooh, you got me there. You got me there. I'm not gonna lie. You got me there. I would say the mental aspect of it is more like a depending on the person. Personally, I went through like it was like it was a hard thing to come around. Like when I came to realization of it, it was more like a dang. I kind of beat myself up about it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm coming more into a okay. Well, like I was saying before, like it was just a lesson learned. This is something I won't. You know what I'm saying? Just take for future references, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, yeah, I just I don't know. I'm trying to learn boundaries. So like stuff like this and like little other stuff is just making me realize that my frontal lobe is developing quicker than I thought it would. So that means I have to just tighten up and mature and just think more about me, be a little bit more selfish.
That's
So
real.
yeah.
So, in regards to like your vision of what you're trying to contribute to 9L,
Mm.
how does that tie into that as well?
Hmm. You know, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not
That's real.
exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. I would like to think that I don't know. You caught me. I don't know. I don't
No.
know.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
trying to catch you. It's more just like I'm kind of just trying to understand because I know from my position, everything that I go through, I try to put positively into the things that I'm attached to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, because I made the decision to break this habit or break this cycle, the lessons that I learned or the skills that I had to like, sometimes I do beat myself up about it at first because it's like, dang, you should be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I know to do this, but it's like, bro, I just am not doing this right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
tired about something else, or
Yeah.
like, it's a multitude of things, or it's coming from places like you gotta really sit with yourself to understand, and then be actually diligent in addressing it while you're sitting there.
Yeah.
And that it's so many distractions. Like you can pick and choose whether you do it or not.
Or not. Yeah.
So it's like with me, when I decide to and actually follow through on that decision, all those skills that I'm learning, all those things that I'm picking up, like I'm putting it into the philosophy of chilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bucket list, how I'm building myself up in the career of film and media, entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from.
Okay. Okay. I just need a little bit more elaboration. So I would like to say like sorry, I keep on getting mind blocked.
Oh, you good. Please don't say sorry. I really despise that word.
It's
Like
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I learned the history of that. I could just imagine someone being like, sorry. I'd be like, I genuinely am sorry. Yeah, you are sorry. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Hell nah.
My bad. I don't know, guys. Y'all want to go? Give me a second to think.
That's real.
I feel like everything that I do, music wise, even outside of music though, I feel like I put that towards 9L, because at the end of the day, my definition of 9L is like family. So like, of course, I'm gonna do anything behind my family. We even if it's like little stuff, like I'm gonna do anything behind my family. Big stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question again?
So basically, like with everything that you learn when you're dealing with like addressing misconceptions of a situation that you're going through, how do you kind of put that into what you're building with 9L as well?
Mm, that's a good question. To answer your question, I would say um, like I was speaking on before, really just starting like with the youth, like, bruh, cause that's literally the next generation. Like, we're the next generation. Like right now, we're the next upcoming adults. Like, you're a little bit older than us, so like you a real adult. You feel me? But we adults too, but we young adults. But like, really just planning for the future, because all this shit going on right now, like they say history repeats itself, but like we can be the change for this shit. But it's like the change got to start now. But
That's right.
um, yeah.
No, that's real. I mean, honestly, like when I'm going through any misconceptions or like just situations of like frustration, because that's the real emotion I be feeling when I go through anything. Like it just be like, bro, what the heck?
Yeah, like what's going on? What
you,
can we do?
you feel me?
Like
Yeah, like what's the solution?
yeah, like what's next?
Yeah, so I feel what you saying because sometimes a lot of my frustration comes from the thought of like, bro, if y'all would just put this ego to the side, we can find a solution faster. Like it can be accelerated with a conversation. Like
Yeah.
I understand it's difficult. I understand emotions can get real tight. I understand the history of what people have done gets complex. But come on, like I know y'all see it.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I definitely understand. Like, I don't know. I feel like, sorry, can I get that? Yeah. I feel like now as Gen Z, like, as we're, well, Gen Z and, kind of millennials too, everybody's learning to like wake up more and be as a community and not just, opposed to everything or each other, you know what I'm saying? Because we have to stick together. Like, that shit can get frustrating. Like, sorry, yo.
No, that's real.
That shit gets tough. Like, especially like the shit that was going on in 2020 with all the brutality, the police brutality and stuff like that, and even not even just 2020, but throughout decades and decades of that shit. Like,
Hmm.
that shit can get really like. We are the next generation. We have to stick up for our younger kids, our youth, and stuff like that. So nobody's gonna do it if we can't do it. Nobody else is gonna do it for us.
That's
Period. So
facts. That's
yeah.
facts. I will so okay, shifting a little bit into like the present day, like y'all day to day, how is it kind of consuming or being in a place where you can consume so much information at the same time, but also so little as well? Like, because I know that's a big misconception I feel like this collective generation has, not just the previous ones, but this one, the ones coming up as well. Because
Yeah.
yes, we have the internet, but like the internet is really only supposed to be used for how you want to use it.
Right.
So if you want to use it to find specific things, that's what it's going to give you. And it's going to give you every version, variety of that specific thing, unless you intentionally say, like, I want to sit here and diversify here, sit here and, understand all this information. So what do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it can be overwhelming to have both the internet and society, well, not just both, but internet and society, as well as, past and recent past experiences, stuff like that, past situations. It can be very overwhelming to like put into your own perspective of how you're going to live your future and live your life and stuff like that, or just even like making sure everybody else, or like family and stuff, like making sure everybody else around you is okay and straight. Like, yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like hmm, when it comes to that, like the internet, like I be asking certain questions, like okay, because it was a time before the internet was created. So how did certain information get across, or like how did people know certain things? Like how do how do we know that all the shit that they telling us is like facts? You feel me? Or how do we know it's not an opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. That's the type of shit I be thinking about. It be throwing me off because it's like everything was created, even the words that I'm speaking right now. Like
Yeah.
everything is
No.
created. It's
I
like
I think about that too because
yeah,
even when I read books, like it doesn't matter the context, the genre of it. I can tell the difference between the author speaking and putting their own opinions into the words versus like
The real story.
right,
story.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like they kind of water down the story line a little bit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Even with the what, like, I don't know. I just be the same shit. You the same stuff that y'all talking about. Like, I be thinking about different stuff. Like, even the weather. Like, I feel like even the weather. Like, like I don't know. It be different things that go hand in hand with that. But like the weather, like I feel like the last couple hurricanes was like, I feel like they were sent out for us
Mm.
or for the country. I don't know. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like yeah,
Maybe need to do a little reset.
yeah.
But I definitely can see where y'all are coming from and what you mean because I pick up on it too. And I have like similar questions as well. And I guess that's kind of why I wanted to dive into this thing with y'all because I understand like with the community y'all are trying to build is like you said, educating the people coming up next to understand the pace of what y'all are trying to do now, if that makes sense. If I'm understanding our conversations correctly, because like I can tell even the way that y'all operate and how y'all communicate with each other, it's an understanding of like, yeah, we're dealing with our situations and we're mapping out this journey and committing to what we're trying to build and the vision, but at the same time we're still making decisions now that's going to prepare the future so we can then communicate it to everyone else, which is kind of goes into like what you were saying before of like how information has been passed down because it was just that system constantly refined and amplified. And that's why I give accreditation to the ones that came before us because I sit there and I think I'm like, bro, if you didn't have nothing but a radio signal and you got half the country to know your name and that was all that y'all had,
That's crazy. That's insane. That is insane. Yeah.
You got people across the country, the seas. There are people now with phones that can't even reach the people in their own community.
Like what's going on? I don't know. The technology is just I don't know from just going from radio signals to telephones and like not being able to reach. It's just crazy. It's like everything is getting it's a little watered. Like I was saying before, it's like everything's a little watered down. Like I don't know. It's not the same as before.
What were you gonna say?
You gonna say something?
Honestly, I was just gonna say I feel like they be lying, bro. I feel like the technology has always not necessarily always been there, but like they got shit. Of course, they got shit that we don't know about, but I feel like the shit that we have now, like they made it, they been made it, and it's if y'all, I know everybody has seen like them Tesla robots, and they've been talking about like AI and all this shit coming for years, but it's like this shit is literally here. But I just say that to say like all the technology that's here, I feel like when you say watered down, I feel like I don't know, like it was different back then because they really lied about the history. Like we really don't have any proof or of shit, really anything in history. Like
When I say watered down, I mean like to elaborate on when I say watered down, I mean to say like I feel like they're withholding forms of I feel like they're withholding like certain technologies and certain communication forms and like certain things from us that they've been came up with. Same what he's saying, like they've been came up with this stuff and they're just giving us what they want us to have. You know what I'm saying? For the future and we just have to make do, basically. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to that's what I mean when I was saying we're gonna have to come together as a community, whether that be as a race, as a generation, as a you know what I'm saying? Like we're just gonna have to do it together. If we can't do it, nobody else is gonna do it for us. So like I don't know.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I kind of just forgot what I was gonna say.
No, that's right.
But no, piggyback off of what you just said. I feel like they is withholding like certain stuff because not to take this conversation to like a whole different aspect, but when people do find out the real, it be people getting killed off like just because they figured out the real.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
That's right. So just to make sure I'm tying this in for the people, because I know there's some folks that's probably about to go into a whole tunnel like, shoot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But
we taking a little bit of everywhere, sorry guys.
But what I will say is I wanted to bring that up because at the end of the day, like we do have to utilize the information presently at hand to
Mhm.
kind of, make better decisions on how we're going to move forward. So I know you in particular with music and what you do within this team. I wanted to dive a little bit more into that and just see like how you got into your artistry and what you're trying to build through the vision as well.
Honestly, um, I would didn't if this was a couple years ago, I would not have thought that like this would be the reality now. Like I love music. Don't get me wrong, I love music. But me making music for myself, I never thought this would happen for real. But now that it's here, I am trying to like, um, every time I do make a song, I be trying to like put a good message out in the world because it is artists out here that just be like saying anything on their beat, like. But anytime I make a song, I be trying to put out a positive message or like something that's like a motivational, something motivational. Like I don't just be on the beat. Sometimes I do be on the beat fucking around, but really when I get into it, I always gotta have like a message or something. 'Cause, like I said, it's people under us that's looking up to us. So not just making music just for my generation, we also making music for the younger folks. Like even if the even if the older generation don't mess with it, is you always got to think about the people that's coming up behind
Mhm.
you.
Um, I would say how I came into my artistry was a literal joke. It was a literal joke. I did it just for fun in the beginning. Um, I'm not. I wouldn't. I did say that I think about taking it seriously, but as for right now, I don't think I would take it seriously. Maybe like in the future, like if I was to do like practice a little bit more and try to like I don't know. I feel like I have these little like in betweens of music, maybe a few weeks or maybe a couple months, like where I'm kind of like overthinking it, maybe
Mhm.
overthinking it, and like just kind of being a little too hard on myself. Like I was saying before, I can be hard on myself just so that I can be perfect. But I know,
Hmm.
in order to be perfect, you have to go through trial and error and
And
good things
everybody's
that
not
you,
perfect. Don't get it
yeah,
right.
everybody's not perfect, and every song is not going to be perfect. Every session is not going to be perfect, and I go through those trials and tribulations. But in order to be an artist that I can see myself being, I would to piggyback off of what you was saying, like make music for the youth, like motivate, uh, not even just for the youth, but people in general. Like
Mhm.
motivate, you know what I'm saying? Get some money, you know what I'm saying? Speak more life into yourself, speak life into others, those around you. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself, mental health. Everybody has, some sort of mental health things going on, and I have those things going on for myself. So I feel like if I was to speak more about those things, it would be more of a, I don't know, like it would help self
Yeah, that's
motivate
real.
others.
Um, the start of my artistry really like came into like few years back, like me and my sister. Okay, cause we used to live in these apartment complexes. I'm gonna tell a little story time right quick. Like when I had first started smoking, like I started smoke. She's older than me, but I started smoking before her. But she started smoking a little bit after me. So when we started smoking this shit, like we would freestyle. So it was this one time. I think really the first time we really freestyle, like we was sitting on the steps,
Oh my
just
god,
on some hot
yes.
shit, and like we just freestyling. That shit was hard. Like I don't even remember. Like she know what I'm talking about.
We
I
was
don't even. Yeah,
just saying
we just
anything,
saying
like
shit, but
going for like we went for like 10 minutes, I think.
yeah, but from that point, we just started like freestyling and shit, and then like I say, really like a year and a half later, we had moved, and we started like I started freestyle. I was freestyling on my own, but we started back freestyling, and then I just made songs playing around, and then started making like music on BandLab, and like I would get like little melodies in my head and stuff. Just stay consistent with it, keep doing it, and then I eventually started drop music, and that was the beginning of that, honestly. Um, and then really just like I started learning like networking because I didn't like I never really even knew what networking was. Like even right now, like this is networking, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But like I didn't when I really started because I didn't met a lot of I didn't been like I feel like a lot of people could say that I didn't been like rooms with important people, but when you can be in a room with somebody important and actually like establish like okay like mutual respect like you know like shit that might be a connection, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's really how that happened.
Also, just to add some just a little something, I feel like when we like, even with me and my brother, just doing little freestyles and starting and just joking around at first. When we started making, well, when he started making music, I would say he was my one of my number one inspirations to start actually trying to take music seriously. Um, and then I came to realization, or sorry, his other friends started making music, and then my girlfriend started making music, and then everybody around us. It's like a motivational thing. We building off of each other. Yeah, we
Mm.
building off of each other, and we just motivating each other and supporting each other, coming through, promoting, showing up for each other when
Mm.
people have shows and stuff like that. So that's the number one thing. 9L's love. Like
Yes,
it's
sir.
families. Ohana is family.
For
Yeah.
sure. So, okay, I guess my next question is, just kind of going through that support system. Have you all experienced like any like turbulent phases where let's say someone's not able to make something, or you know what I'm saying, like that communication,
Mhm.
or any like competitive spirits that may be had within the team, like how was that addressed, like worked through and everything?
You want to adjust that?
Well, I could go into full detail, but to really answer that question, I would say like there's been people that we've considered a part of the collective, and we like brung around like family. Like, okay, they're a part of the collective, and basically they showed us that they wasn't a part of the collective. Like
Mm.
just ain't like they say actions speak louder than words. So it only take you feel me? It
That
only
was
take
it.
real shit.
That was
It only take one time for you know what I'm saying, somebody to do some fuck shit and that shit is
it.
out the window, you feel me? Because it's
Yeah,
like,
And as a family, we're gonna come through every time.
yeah.
that's
Every
real.
time. Every time.
Yeah, and I respect that because even in situations where, cause it always changes. Like when someone considers that person to be you, and when you consider someone else to be that person.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, like those principles of what that situation is definitely changes, and it's like, at least from my experience or my observation as well,
Mm.
is more so about that question of, okay, how did we actually address the issue, how did we communicate through it, because at the end of the day, like the principle gonna stand
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah. Regardless if they say or not, yeah, the principles are.
Real shit.
But yeah, let me get that point. Yeah, I would say the way that we do handle it as a sorry,
No, you good.
do the way that we do handle it as a family, we do communicate, figure out what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If one person's not messing with the person that's into it, you know what I'm saying, or that's of opposition, then we all as a family take that on. Like, we don't mess with you. Can't come around us. That is what it is. We as a family don't mess with you, so you gotta go. So
Mm,
we just move them to the curb as they should. Move to the curb. You act as the opposition. You go be an opposition.
that's real, that's
Period.
real.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay, so I know we're getting down to the last couple minutes of the episode. So this is typically where I kind of give the microphone to you all or the platform to you all. And y'all can ask me any questions that y'all would like, whether it be pertaining to the actual topic or just general conversations that you questions that you had.
Okay. I would say, I do have a question for you. How did you come into the philosophy episode talk?
Into the topic for the
Like into your platform. Like how did you like start your platform? Yeah.
oh, for sure. Okay, so I've always been someone that just consumes information, like regardless. So I was trying to just find my path of how to just channel all of that energy into some sort of career, what have you. Because I wanted to always be around information, but you know we gotta eat at the end of the day.
Right.
So I got introduced to the creative space in high school, but I never really had a solidified like opportunity to just like completely dive in and just like sit down in the studio and just like learn all the cues and go into FX and try to figure that out and everything. Like I would be a part of programs and I did them successfully, but it was still just like the basics and foundations. Because I kept getting pulled by like STEM and like math and you know eventually that led into me going into business in college. So what I had the idea to do was to create my own consulting firm and have that as like a long-term company, kind of like how y'all are building up 9L, and that just be like what I put my general ideas into. So because of that, I have to somewhat find a way to build up my own credibility. And that's what led me to podcasting. So I didn't want to do it at first because I was like, hell no. I'm still immature. Can't do it.
Feel you.
I'll get arrested. For sure.
Feel you.
Like,
Feel you on that. Look it.
so I was trying to find literally every other way I could do this. Like I was trying to be in like organizations, and what got me caught up was the fact that I would be doing what it is I was supposed to be doing as far as like going to school and everything. But like I wasn't I was trying to find every other distraction to not do this. So everything else started happening. I had a friend that was doing podcasting and he randomly called me one day and was like, yo, we need your help to be a manager. And that was the bucket list. And, you know, that was the interview we did. They called me up. They was like, we just want you to help us manage it. I was like, okay, cool. I just meet the team, you know, figure out everybody, you know, see how it is. When I did, I clicked with them, but my position went beyond just being behind the camera. Like that's what put me in front of it, hosting and doing all this other stuff. So I was like,
I mean, you doing it on somebody else's platform. Why not start your own?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I had actually had the idea for the philosophy of chilling before the bucket list. I just wasn't about to put no action into it because I was like, I don't want to do that. If I can find somebody else to be the host, cool. But I had started doing like audios only, and I wasn't doing any visuals. I wasn't really planning on it. They called me. I was like, shit, why not? So I just built that up, and then maybe like a couple months ago, I got let go from this other position I was in. I was like, shit, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Might as well, you know.
You got the free time to do your, you know what I'm saying?
Build my platform back up. So that's what I did. I started it in maybe June for real. Maybe a little bit, no, maybe in May actually. I started up in May and you know I just been building ever since.
Okay, so this is a fresh
Fresh.
platform. Yes, you starting fresh.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely a nice fresh relaunch. So I still have ways I want to build it. Like I want to build the visual aspects of it more, to actually complement like the opportunities and the understanding that I have. But that takes time. That takes the team. So I'm taking it one step at a time.
Definitely.
Just making sure I have content to put out.
Right.
And then later on down the line, if somebody want to help out or I got more time on my hands, I'll go back, edit,
Yeah.
level up along the way.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. It's all about growth. Taking small steps first.
Thank you.
I respect that. I respect that. I
Yeah.
respect that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Really took my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. You got another question? I'm conjuring up a couple questions, brainstorming a little bit.
For
Got any
sure.
questions?
Well, I was about to say, because I got some more questions for y'all too. Y'all need something to
ask
think
away.
about.
Ask away.
Okay, for sure. Okay, so kind of going back to the conversation we were having a little bit before. You got into your artistry, but kind of really more so towards you. No, Mr. K over
okay,
here, and also for yourself as well. But what was your journey like in making the decision to say, okay, I'm gonna actually put my energy and invest it here in this music and try to build this career and things of that sort?
At first, it was a thing of really like building confidence, and that's really a thing that I'm still like doing. But it's like day by day, it's officially getting to the point to where I mean, yeah, I have confidence, but I don't care what anybody else thinks because I like it's at that point it's my art. But to really answer your question, like, damn, can you ask that question one more time?
Yeah, for sure. Dang, I gotta remember. So basically, this is about your music, your artistry. What was it? What? Dang, what did I just ask you? This happens to me all the time.
It's so
Yeah.
I think you said something along the lines of like, what was
Oh, what went into you making the decision to actually take on this career
oh
path?
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah. That's a good ass question because like it's like I could even give an example. Okay, let's say I make a YouTube channel. Like I start, of course, when you first start something, you're not going to necessarily have the traction, the attention, the likes, follows, comments. You're not going to have the shit that you want because it's the beginning. But it's really a thing of going back to what I was speaking on, like being consistent, because consistency, like, it shows discipline. It builds discipline, but it shows like endurance, because even sometimes, like,
good one.
bruh,
That was
even
a good
when you
one.
don't want to do shit, it's like, okay, I know all of us have worked, like, you worked at a job before, right?
Of course. Yeah.
It's some days that shit, like, you don't want to go to work, but you still gonna go, cause, bruh, I ain't gonna lie, when you was talking, bruh, something that you said, that shit hit me. That's like, you gonna see it when you edit, but I was sitting here stuck, like, damn. You was like, bruh, at the end of the day, we gotta eat, bruh. That's some shit.
For sure.
Cause nigga, you got it. Like, you feel me? Food. I don't want to say that food is not a necessity, because I mean, it's just all the shit that they put out here is bullshit food. But we do have to eat.
Yeah.
Like, we need food to survive, but at the same time, like, shit, you gotta have money to have food.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how the system was built.
but yeah, but no, I really kind of went off
Well,
topic,
an exchange of value. Yes,
but
sir.
Um, yeah, like just it's a lot of things that went
Oh, that's
into. Yeah, nah, cause you gotta, sometimes you gotta, for
yeah,
real, like
bro. It do be deeper than that shit.
it's a lot of shit that goes into like basically building something because you can't build some shit without a foundation, especially like when you starting from the ground up. It's like sometimes you're not gonna necessarily know which direction to go, so you damn near gotta try everything, but at the same time you
Mhm.
don't want to try everything because
Mhm.
you know what I'm
You don't
saying,
want to
like
waste that time building
yeah.
something that.
But like once you just basically really build on top of what you already know, it's just gonna advance. And like one thing that I really learned, bruh, is like you can't forget where you came from. Like sometimes you gotta resort back to your basics because that's your root shit. Like this, it's like you know, like
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain what I'm saying, but you gotta resort back to the basics sometimes because I mean you don't always want to be in a comfortable position and stick with what all you know, but sometimes what you know is the best. Like your first thought, like we second guess. I don't know. I be overthinking a lot, like second guess myself sometimes. But then I realized like my first thought was like, shit, that was the best thought. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, it be like that.
mm,
Shoot, I deal with that shit myself because, like you said, that first thought of okay, I should do this, but sometimes that first thought be uncomfortable, and you be like, "Fuck, no, I'm not finna do that shit." But then you go through everything that you could have avoided, and it's like, well, dang, if I would have did my first thought, even when it comes to the small stuff, I wouldn't have been late if I just put out this shirt when I was just laying down type shit.
yeah,
Instead of just waiting till the last minute, now I'm throwing it on, didn't get to iron it type shit. Now I'm just, you feel me? Like, it be like that. And one thing I'm trying to get better at is like talking myself through not being hard on myself because I'm a person like instinctually if I think about doing something, I'm doing it right then and there. Like, cause I know I'm gonna either forget or something else is gonna happen in like the 3D or someone gonna call me and now I gotta be over here and now I gotta do this or now I gotta go back to this meeting or something like that. So I definitely get where you coming from on that one. But before I get to my last question, do y'all have any questions for me?
mm, I have a question. Let me think. Let me think. So, mm, so as far as like cause like when I be getting high, I be thinking about just other shit, worldly shit. Like I think about the same type of shit when I'm sober, but it's like when I'm I guess intoxicated, I could express it a little better. But like, do you mm, how can I ask this question? Um so what is your perspective on basically like okay, I'm gonna put it like this. I had a conversation with like one of my brothers a minute ago, and I was basically like just saying how like everybody like sees some different shit. Everybody sees something from a different perspective. So it's like, well, for one, like how do we know what's real, but it's like how do we know like what's real? Like what in your reality, like what what I guess you could say, like, what keeps you grounded?
I understand your question. Thank you for asking it in that way. That shows me the intentionality that you're trying to put into your words.
Yeah.
Honestly, in understanding the spirit and divine, I have tried to study all forms of religion and spirituality, and what it has taught me is how to keep an open mind, because at the end of the day, we're all vessels. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of how you want to look at it, you're a person that was put here to physically do something.
Yeah.
Now, the choice that you were given is yours and yours alone. That's why we have mental anguish and everything else, because like we said before, there's that first voice in your head that be like, do this, and you be like, fuck no, I'm not doing that shit, not today.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, what keeps me grounded is understanding at least the intention that I'm trying to put out. Because when I recognize the principles in the words and not the opinions of the vessels that are saying them, it helps me kind of move through their understanding. So it's like, I get what you're saying as a Christian in Christianity. I get what you're saying in spirituality. You don't like the specific ties, labels, or the words that were created around it, depending on the community or the person. But to me, it's about the principle. What's the principle of what's actually being taught? What's actually being taught is listen to the people around you, and as a human being, you have a certain level of intelligence to understand what you should and should not do. There's an understanding of a type of control that you should and should not have. You're going to have your own personality on how it's going to, and how it enacts within its manifestation of life. And there are different people that talk around it in different ways. But what grounds me is being able to identify the principle within those different varieties. And then also in my own journey, when I sit down by myself, like, I'm not afraid to be by myself. Fuck everybody else. Like, I've literally been in a situation where I've had hella people know me, come up to me, like, want to just hug me and shit, and I'd be like, cool. But like, at the end of the day, when I'm going back to my crib, it depends on the type of energy that's around me, because I feel it. Every time I step outside, like, I can tell if you have bad energy around me, because when you come into my space, shit changes. Like, it literally affects
the emotion change.
Yes.
The environment change, the conversation, even the conversation change. Some
Yeah.
take conversations down a dark, and there, you know what I'm saying, a dark path. Like, I don't know. I definitely felt you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very relatable.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But
Real
like,
shit.
those types of experiences are what keeps me grounded and makes me like understand, okay, fuck all the material shit and the social shit and whatever opinion someone that gotta say about me or whatever the fuck else I'm connected to. I'm looking at the proof that you've also in your own language have confirmed to be, evidence of what's around in the divine and what have you. And I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, my intention is where it should be. Like, I'm not out here trying to do no crazy shit. And at the same time, I'm understanding. It's not the fact that, I'm going to diss somebody else. No, I'm chilling, bro. Like, you got it. Just don't come over here with no crazy shit. We good.
Real
Like,
shit.
but yeah, no, that's pretty much how I keep myself grounded. Like, just trying to protect that shit, because fuck no. I fucked around one time, invited some folks over, and I made rice. My rice be good, bro. Nice balance. I ain't trying to get nobody no high cholesterol, diabetes.
Yeah.
Bro, I tasted that rice. I said, this shit salty as fuck. Yeah, somebody got to go. said, heck
The
nah, bro.
KK fucked up your whole aura.
What? I said, heck nah. It be small stuff like that. So I just peep and protect and go.
Yeah.
And sometimes like that's why I said showing up is also like my craft because a lot of the times I don't be knowing what the fuck going on. I just get an idea and it just say, go do this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, why the fuck would I do that? But I'm like, shit, okay, because it's not leaving my head. Show up, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this shit ain't got nothing to do with me, but I'm here.
Yeah. It's like the safety. Oh, the mic. Oh shit, my bad. Was you about to say something? Like that's the same thing that I was saying earlier. Like to piggyback off what you were saying, you don't show up, you don't know what the hell going on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you show up, it's like some bullshit going on. Can't be around it. Can't be around it. Can't fuck with it.
Yeah, or sometimes it's just like I'm just there observing. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. Nah, for real, because observing like that shit is like it's really like a superpower, bro. Because if you can read the room, if you can read like going back to what you were saying, reading like feeling people energy, if you can do that, that shit is really like a lifesaver because you never know like it could be something going on and everybody else is paying attention to something else distracted. But if you read in the room, like you know what's going on, so you won't get caught up in situation. But nah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, no more questions?
I did have one, but I forgot.
No problem.
Yeah.
Um, hey man. Well, I got a question. So let me ask you, like, cause when you were talking about spirituality, like,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you can go down the rabbit hole and basically like make yourself crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it get to a point to where you overthink, to where it's like, damn, like, where am I going with it? Like, it just everything gets overwhelming, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Like when if you had an experience like that, like, could you like talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I have them all the time because I'm definitely an overthinker. But I've learned to like kind of balance the overthinking. Which is why I have a lot of habits that I do now of like doing stuff immediately as I think to do it. But in terms of like spirituality, when it comes to like overloads in that regard, um, they pretty much happen the most in like two different forms. No, I lied, three. When I'm reading other people's texts, um, when I'm experiencing like I wouldn't say like downloads, but I guess they are downloads. Like I'll be talking, but I won't remember what the fuck I said. But somebody will like on an episode of like the bucket list or something when we first started out. Will me and my boy me and him would edit or alternate editing, and he'll edit a video and he'll be like, "Damn, Don, you said some shit." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" Like, I don't have no idea what the fuck I said. I was just there. Um, but the most recent one I've experienced is just like um solitude, which is kind of interesting because it's not like solitary confinement because you're not completely isolated. You're still surrounded by distractions 24/7, whether you're like meditating or not. But it's more so, I guess, is your question like how I deal with it or?
My question is really, I just wanted you to like, I just wanted you to like explain your experience and like how it even led up to like, okay, like you were learning information, then it's just like, okay, I learned all this information, but like, cause this is really, I'm talking to you, but I'm really expressing my shit too. Like, okay, I learned all this information, but how can I apply it to this 3D world, like this tangible reality? Because
Mm,
all this shit that I'm learning, it's like I'm learning about
that's
shit
real.
that I can't even see with these. You feel
Yeah,
me? I can
yeah,
see it, but I can't see it with these eyes. I can more so
yeah,
feel it. So it's
yeah.
like,
Okay, so it's kind of tiered a little bit. It depends. So those ideas, that little voice of like good versus bad, picture, the animations,
yeah,
age old shit. Um,
that shit is real. I be having nigga both. They be talking.
you feel me?
Yeah, like
Shit. That's why
yeah.
y'all think it's all these spaces and personalities in the eye, bro. This
I
shit
didn't even
real.
peep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh
here
yeah,
you
I didn't
go.
even peep that. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
that was the
Oh, that's sick.
concept that was running in my head when I had thought of it.
Real shit.
That's
So
sick.
you feel like it's cause okay, so damn, I don't want to dip into another conversation, but you feel like it's like different people like within you.
Yeah, I definitely consider it to be like okay, and this is me talking vulnerably now too, because a lot of this stuff I've only understood it in my head and leave it alone because I can't really have a lot of conversations like this too often. But to answer your question, I do I can see similarities to like multiple personality disorder.
Real shit.
But the reason that I don't try to label it as such is because that neurological science, I don't know too much about it, and I know the negative connotations and the stereotypes that people can have associated to them automatically.
Right.
So I'm not gonna speak on it and be like, "Oh yeah," da, 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 without knowing about it myself. But what I do understand from just other people and then my own experiences, that shit is real. Like there are situ situations that break themselves down in my head where it's like one wants to do this, another wants to do that, whether it be an intuitive feeling, however you want to articulate it, I don't care. Let it be God, how what have you. At the end of the day, there's still like a physical push and pull. Yeah, like a battle. So it's like what I try to do is, especially when I was in my solitary confinement and experiencing it the most, because it was just me and those personalities. And what I had to learn to do was be able to allow the emotions that I felt to flow through, but control my breathing enough to where the frustrations didn't become like physical action.
Bro, real shit. That's something I really be speaking on, bro. Breathing techniques, because not even really about meditation, but we don't realize like, bro, we breathe on autopilot 24/8. So if you really can control your breathing, first of all, you regulate your nervous system, and like you can basically like retrain it's like resetting your body and your mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
with certain breathing techniques, you can literally like get high like a drug. Like you
Yeah.
can like you can literally like, and also with certain breathing techniques, like you can. I was telling my mom this literally yesterday. Like if you breathe, even when you stretch, like with breathing technique, like you can crack your spine. Like it's
Yep.
like I don't know how to, it's like like how when you'll stretch and you pop your, I don't know how to explain
You
it,
know
but
I
it's
do
like
that shit all the time.
the energy, like you can
Yeah,
feel
like
that shit.
if I do a deep breath and I
And then release. Yeah, that shit will
yeah.
literally like that shit feel better. Better.
Elongate something, shit. I don't know. That motherfucker feel good after that. My hip, shit.
That shit called Kundalini energy.
Gotta research that for sure. But
Right.
that's
Yeah.
that's really it though. Like I had to learn how to actually listen to them, and by listening to them, I was able to decide like, okay, nah, you're tripping. Like I can't do that right there. Like hell no. Or like another one, they be like, man, fuck, no, I don't do this. But there's always that calm voice that's just like, all right, for sure. And I'd be like, let me just go with that one.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the philosophy of chilling came from, because people that I would meet like knew every time they would be like, oh, you so chill, you so chill. I'm like, I'm really like, I'm really just here vibing. Like, I'm just I'm trying to understand my emotions and why they feel the way they do, but not let them control the physical outcome and shit. You dig what I'm saying?
Oh
Yeah.
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 That's really what it's about.
Well,
I want to say something, but I can't. I'm trying to get my thoughts in focus, y'all.
mm-hmm.
I'm having so many thoughts come through my mind. It's so hard to verbalize them.
Well, I mean, we can always do a part two. You feel me?
I mean, what type of part two?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
But with that being said, I mean, that's pretty much the questions that I had. But as always, this conversation could really be going all night long, to be quite honest with you. But y'all got to go. So let me go ahead and let y'all introduce yourselves one more time. Let the people know where to find you, how to get connected, all that.
You go first. You got the mic.
Oh, well, I'm here again. First time y'all see me, I think it was on the bucket list. But y'all can follow me on Instagram at 39999 dot underscore Mr. dot K. Know what I'm saying? That's my Instagram. Really the same thing with all my social media platforms. On all platforms, music, everything. That's it.
Yo, guys, it's your girl Ari. It's your girl Ari, Miss Deluxe. Yes, that's my artist name. I didn't say it at the beginning, but my name is Miss Deluxe. You know what I'm saying? Big Ari Deluxe. You can find me on Instagram at Air Malera. It's kind of a little bit complicated. It's my first and middle name. It's backwards. Ario Marie backwards. If y'all can figure that out, y'all know my Instagram because I can't remember it right now. But thank y'all. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me on your platform, Dunlap. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what the hell? You can find me on Instagram at Naya Divine. Place the in Divine with a 9. Also TikTok and SoundCloud. SoundCloud is the same thing, Naya Divine, and then TikTok is Naya's playlist. Yeah, it's Naya Divine. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
So we out of here. Peace.
Bye.